Well, the snow is falling outside, but the Falcons have landed inside. Welcome to ExtraMile Arena, where tonight two teams on the opposite ends of the Mountain West standings will do battle as we hit the halfway point of Mountain West Conference play. Jay Tust alongside Brian King. Brian, Air Force looking to bounce back from a loss. Meanwhile, Boise State looking to build off a massive win down in the pit.
Boy, Jay, that was really a big-time win for Boise State. Of course, Max Rice, career night, 35 points. Nobody's talking about Omar, though, with a double-double down there as well. Big road win. Now they got to come home. This could be a trap game. Maybe Air Force is really difficult to play against. They just do things a little bit differently. It'll be a fun day here today, though, Jay.
Take a look at the Mountain West Conference standings. You can see Boise State right in the thick of the conference race, only a game behind Utah State in second place. Meanwhile, Air Force trying to pick up the pace, just 1-7 in Mountain West Conference play so far. Man, did the Falcons battle the Cowboys just a couple of nights ago. And Kellen Boylan, what an afternoon for him. He only had 9 threes on the entire season going in. He made 9 in the game.
Yeah, hey, this kid can really, really shoot it. 55% three-point shooter, and they run their sets to get him shots, right? So what's easier than a wide-open three? I think it's a pretty easy shot. He thinks it's a pretty easy shot. Boise State has been pretty good about not allowing that to happen against them. We'll see if they can pull it off today.
It will test Boise State defensively. On the flip side of that, as long as we want to talk about shooters, Max Rice proved once again he is one of the best in the country. Responded to a little bit of noise that was critical of his play. He did so with 35 points in a double-digit road underdog win, Brian.
Yeah, you mentioned the noise, and I love that Max Rice doesn't hear the noise, right? He just came out. He is an ultimate competitor. He is a big game guy, and there was no bigger game than that, right? 11-point underdogs on the road at the pit. Max throws in a cool 35.
Dark mode has been activated. Boise State rocking their black jerseys. They're asking fans to wear their black Boise State get up. We have tip-off from ExtraMile Arena coming up right after this. Well, a near-capacity crowd ready to welcome Boise State back home following an epic road win just days ago over 19th-ranked New Mexico. You see the starting five for Boise State, Brian. They have stuck with this same starting lineup for about a month and a half now, and it appears to be working.
Kind of working. Max Rice was the man last week with 35, but who's it going to be tonight? It could be Stanley. It could be Degenhart. Maybe Roddy Anderson has the game of his life. That's why Boise State is so hard to guard. It's a different guy every night.
Pick your poison. Here is the starting five for Air Force. Ethan Taylor leads college basketball in minutes played per game. The guy barely takes a breather, Brian, averaging almost 39 minutes a contest.
That's a lot of minutes, Jay. I mean, if he gets subbed out tonight, we know something is going wrong because this guy never comes out of the game. Air Force 1-8, obviously on paper, this might look like this is Boise State's game, but Air Force is just difficult to play against, Jay. And it's just like the football team. Like, they come to Boise and everybody gets nervous because it is the Air Force Academy, and their basketball program is built the same way.
Coach has described preparing for Air Force as an entirely different endeavor. They are unique. The mental prep is more difficult than the physical prep, but I'll remind you, Boise State played on the road on Wednesday, so their preparation time has been condensed. We'll see if the Broncos are ready to go against Air Force. We are underway. Air Force with the opening possession. 5 on the shot clock. They got to hurry, get something up. Taylor's going to go baseline, and the shot clock will expire. A nice opening defensive possession for the Broncos.
Yeah, Jay, you mentioned the shot clock. Air Force will run that clock down every possession. So being under 5 is nothing that is unusual for them. Very patient, very disciplined.
Down low to Degenhart, goes up and under, rolls it off the rim and in as the Boise State Broncos are the first on the scoreboard this afternoon.
Well, the Broncos should have the advantage in the paint all night. Good to see Degenhart getting off to a fast start. He's usually a little patient. Early bucket for him is not good for the Air Force Academy.
The three from straight away is good. Bo Becker connects.
Well, in the scouting report, Air Force will shoot threes and they will shoot layups.
Yes, exactly. And the thing about them is they're really good at creating open shots, and that's what their offense thrives off of. Omar Stanley for three, misses it just a little short. Air Force with the rebound.
You're going to get a lot of dribble ats. You're going to get a lot of back cuts. Not a lot of time for Boise State to prepare this week for that, but they will back cut you to death.
Taylor, the skip pass over to Mills. Mills now on the dribble drive exchange. They're going to let another three fly. Just a little long. Kellen Boylan had 9 threes the last time he stepped on the court for Air Force. This is his first attempt off tonight. Shabuzo Abo tries a three and connects. Buzo so often provides an early punch offensively for Boise State. He hits his first three of tonight early in the game.
Here you see the dribble out. Those wings have the option to back cut or come for the handoff.
Bounce pass down low.
8 on the clock.
Back out. Another three-pointer good, as that's Jeffrey Mills that hits from behind the arc.
Again, another reason they're so hard to guard. You know they're going to back cut you. You kind of get ready for that, and they just step out and hit threes.
One of the best three-point shooting teams in all of college basketball. Omar Stanley going to go baseline. Cut off. Tries to get a little help. Ball's going to deflect out of bounds off of Air Force. It's going to stay with Boise State with 10 on the shot clock. The Broncos 15-6 on the season, 6-2 in Mountain West Conference play, 9-2 at home. Last time they were here, they did lose in overtime to Utah State, so trying to provide Bronco Nation with something to celebrate here at ExtraMile Arena. Shabuzo Abo again with 3 on the shot clock, a hand in the face. No problem for Buzo as he hits his second 3 of the game.
Boy, he gets so much elevation on that shot. It's such a high release. It's almost impossible to defend.
It's become such a consistent scorer for the Broncos. And on many nights, he often gets the toughest defensive assignments as well. 3 misses long. Shabuzo had a rebound. His ball poked away. That was Ritas Petrias that gets the offensive rebound. He gets fouled. He's going to go to the free throw line. This is the clear-cut best player, I would say, on Air Force's basketball team. A hustle play there earns him a trip to the free throw line, Brian.
Yeah, averaging almost 16 points a game. And one of the other coaches in this league told me, you see these kids that look like Tarzan and play like Jane? That's not him. He looks like Tarzan. He plays like Tarzan.
Mike Burns, Boise State's longest tenured defensive assistant coach. Paul Petrias, their best player. Plays really hard both on offense and defense. When he drives hard. He's also a good shooter because he takes time to collect himself. He's a dangerous player. You can see him get to the free throw line as Air Force pulls back within 1 on the scoreboard. Max Rice, his first shot attempt of the night. A little long, and Taylor with the rebound. Air Force 8-12 on the season, only 1 win in 8 tries in Mountain West Conference play so far. A 32-point victory, Brian, down in Las Vegas. One of the more surprising outcomes, I would say, of conference play so far.
Well, they're a team, Jay, that if you don't guard them, you're going to have trouble because they're so fundamentally disciplined. And obviously, Vegas didn't guard them.
Ball goes into the backcourt. A turnover for Air Force. Buzo's got it going early for the Broncos. Still early in this contest. Boise State jumps out to an 8-7 lead over Air Force. Not early in the season, though. We hit the halfway point of Mountain West Conference play today. Hard to believe, but we flipped the calendar to February, and this is where things start to get a little real, Brian.
Yeah, they get a little real. I mean, every game, especially in this conference, Jay, is critical. You got to win.
Take a look at the keys to the game. We begin with Air Force trying to create opportunities for other. Also, contest shots at the rim. Boise State was so physical, finished through a lot of contact, shot at a really high rate against New Mexico on layups and dunks after they were a little subpar, I would say, in that category against Utah State. For Boise State, try and defend all 30 seconds. It will be a defensive challenge for the Broncos, and then on the offensive end, get on the offensive glass because that is an area that Air Force struggles in. Not the best rebounding team in America. In fact, one of the worst for that matter.
Yeah, and Boise State happens to be a very good rebounding team, and especially on the offensive glass. But, Jay, guarding 30 seconds as a player, nobody wants to do that, right? That's just a lot of effort.
Roddy Anderson going to let it fly a little too long, but here comes Omar Stanley with the offensive rebound. Abo again leaves it a little short, and Air Force comes away with it. Boise State plus 55 on the glass in league play. That's #1 in the Mountain West Conference.
Oh, jeez.
As Air Force fires right back to jump back in front of the Broncos with a three. That's Jeffrey Mills that connects on his second three of the ball game.
Yeah, pretty simple game for them, Jay. If you leave them open from behind that stripe, they're going to shoot it.
Buzo goes in through contact, misses. Stanley tries to go up and corral a rebound on the offensive end. It's going to go out of bounds, but off of Air Force, so it will stay with the Broncos. Here is Abo and Roddy Anderson are going to check out. For the first time this afternoon, we'll see the true freshman, Andrew Meadow, accompanied on the court by Jace Whiting, the Idaho native that has been playing so well for the Broncos off the bench. Off to a slow start, especially in conference play, but man, has he provided a nice little punch off the bench, adding to the depth for the Broncos these last couple of weeks.
Yeah, you're right. He played really well at New Mexico, very steady, made smart plays, scored when he needed to or when he had the opportunity. Jace is coming along nicely.
7 points in that game, 2 of 2 shooting, 2 rebounds, and assists, a steal in 19 minutes of action. His plus-minus was phenomenal. 8 on the shot clock. Tyson Degenhart going to dribble into the lane now. Dribbles in, tries to finish with the left, high off the glass. Gets it to fall. Tyson Degenhart going deep into the bag of tricks to pull that one down.
Boy, a great finish, but maybe even better was the crossover to get by the guy.
An area of his game where he has definitely grown. More athletic this year. He's down about 10, 15 pounds from where he played last year. Is that one, I don't know if Bo Becker called bank, but you don't have to. It counts. Another three. The 4th of the game for Air Force. All of their shot attempts have come from behind the arc. Tyson into the lane, up and under, draws a little contact, and he's going to go to the free throw line.
Yeah, I like the aggressiveness of Degenhart early. You know, sometimes I think he can be a little too patient in letting things come to him. I like that he's trying to get off to a quick start. Boise State will tighten up that defense, Jay, along that three-point line. It'll happen quickly would be my guess.
Tyson's going to go to the free throw line, shoot 2, shooting 74.8% on the season. Makes the first. You look at his stat line against New Mexico, and well, you might tilt your head a little sideways confused. He only had 4 points, 1 of 8 shooting, 7 rebounds, 3 assists, but he was so much more impactful for this basketball team. New Mexico, their guard play is outstanding. They can really pressure other opposing guards when they bring it up the court. And the way the Boise State combated that, they had Tyson Degenhart bringing the ball up the court.
Yeah, I thought that was great, and he did a really nice job of doing it.
Another turnover for Air Force. Max Rice into the front court. Hands it off to Degenhart. We'll toss it back to Max. Max is going to launch from deep. Wide open, he hits. Rice is on the board for the ball game, and Boise State is back out in front, 15-13.
Just not a guy you want to try to switch off of or hedge off your guy. You've got to stay on Max Rice.
Taylor thinks about it now, passes it back out over the pump fake by Becker and into the lane.
Boy, Becker, nice athletic move to the rim. Again, they're going to shoot threes or layups and kind of not anything else.
Nothing else in between. And if you can do that, then that's a successful defensive possession for Boise State. Air Force 5 of 7 to start this one, including 4 of 6 from 3. Max Rice, a bounce pass to Cam Martin.
I like
Martin
the ball
looking to go down low.
Yeah, good passer, mismatch down low. Easy finish for Degenhart.
6 early points for Tyson Degenhart. Check that, 8 early points on 3 of 3 shooting. He's also 2 for 2 at the free throw line. A really efficient start for both teams offensively. Max Rice goes for the steal. Air Force able to keep possession. Taylor with it. Over to Mills. Mills to the corner. That's Boylan that's going to go up with it. Loses the ball. Gets it back. Attempts a layup and gets fouled.
Again, an athletic move by Boylan. He took that quick, hard, athletic, good hops.
You look at his stat line. Does a little bit of everything for the Falcons as he hits the first free throw. Averaging just under 9 points per game, 4.5 rebounds, a little over 2 assists. 1.4 steals to go along with 1 block per game. Coming off a career night, scored 32 points against Wyoming, hit 9 threes on 14 attempts. And again, we talked about this a little bit earlier, Brian, but he only made 13 threes on the season going into that thing.
Well, it was a good night for him. He slept good that night.
I
Mom
bet.
and Dad were happy. All his friends were happy. Big night.
Max Rice going to drive. Guarded by Petrias. I believe he's going to pick up the foul. Petrias' first foul of the ball game.
Got a little word from a bird before the game. Petrias maybe a little under the weather today. Not feeling as good.
Ball poked away, and oh, that's 2 quick ones on Air Force's star player. In a matter of 4 seconds, their leading scorer picks up a pair of fouls. Boise State feeling good right now. They're tied with the Falcons. How about Tyson Degenhart so far, Brian? 8 points, 3 of 3 from the floor, including 2 of 2 at the free throw line, getting a lot of good looks close to the rim.
Well, that's where he likes to be, and he is so crafty around the basketball. Good with either hand, obviously the ultimate competitor, and way more athletic than people give him credit for. Like, he's quick off the dribble.
Not only the ultimate competitor, talking with Boise State's coaching staff this week, they said that Tyson is the most selfless individual in the program. He gets a lot of accolades, but he's extremely humble, right? No surprise if you know Tyson Degenhart. Averaging 15 points per game on the season, 5.5 rebounds, almost 2 assists, a little over a steal. Taking this team to the NCAA tournament in back-to-back years, trying to make it 3 in a row for the first time in school history. Jace Whiting lets it fly. Max Rice skies in to get the offensive rebound as the Broncos get a fresh shot clock.
Boy, get that ball in the paint.
Broncos kicking around. Jace is going to get another shot attempt, and it's Cam Martin. The physical comes down with the rebound, goes up with it, but I think he's going to get called for an offensive foul.
Boy, great rebound, pretty good play, and there a lot of contact. I like that effort by Cam Martin.
A guy that's playing through a significant shoulder injury. Learning a new role for the Broncos, coming off the bench. Says he's in a good headspace right now. You know, he expected to come here. A lot of people thought he was going to be the starter. The injury has changed his trajectory, though, and now he's trying to contribute any way possible, and that's as a key reserve off the bench for a title contender in the Mountain West Conference. Nice ball movement here by Air Force. Into the lane, the miss by Boylan. Martin with the rebound, and now the Broncos push up into the front court. Max Rice hesitates. Now he puts the ball on the floor, picks it back up, launches a 3, misses it just a little short. Another offensive rebound for the Broncos. Max tries it again and hits. A nice feed there by Tyson Degenhart, spotting 12 for 3.
I think Max misses a shot, just makes him so mad that he misses it. He just wants to prove he's going to make the next one.
Oh, speaking of making the next one, that's Becker with another one.
Well, Air Force doing a nice job, just hanging around, doing their deal.
Tied back up at 20. The Falcons 5 of 7 from 3.
Falcons fall back into a zone.
It's pretty crazy, Brian. Both teams have had 12 offensive possessions. Both teams have 8 scores. Tyson Degenhart into double figures now.
I don't even know how you make that shot, Jay. That shot was a lot harder than anybody thinks.
Not a lot of possessions in this game. Both these teams averaging over 1.6 points per possession. The efficiency right now is off the absolute charts offensively. Omar Stanley. Chibuzo Abo back into the game. Andrew Meadow and Tyson Degenhart going to take a breather now. Martin going to go all the way down the other end of the court and inbound the ball to Jace Whiting.
Looks like Air Force will stay in that zone. No, excuse me. Back to man this time.
The handoff to Whiting. Whiting back to Abo. Down to Martin. Can't quite handle it, though, and the Broncos turn it over.
Good look by Boise State. Here comes Air Force with the chance to tie it, take the lead maybe.
Only the second turnover for Boise State. Maybe got away with a little bit of a travel there. 14 on the shot clock. Here come the Falcons. Mills back out. Becker back to Mills. Now he takes it into the lane, off to the corner. That's Boylan. Off to, back to Becker, who hits the baseline jumper as the shot clock expires.
Air Force is so disciplined offensively. I mean, you kind of watch it. It looks pretty simple, but it is so hard to defend.
Leon Rice was joking around earlier this week. Why doesn't Duke run this type of offense? Because when it gets going, it looks so pretty.
It's pretty. It really is.
Omar Stanley through the contact, count the bucket and the foul. Take another look here. Pretty simple. Gets Becker off his feet, goes up, finishes with the layup, and a chance at a three-point play.
Yeah, I think if you're Boise State, the more time that ball goes into the paint, the better off you're going to be. Big advantage inside.
First bucket of the game for Omar as he sinks the free throw attempt as well. Another guy that's been so efficient offensively, Brian. One of 5 big men in the NCAA, averaging 15 points while shooting 50% from the floor, 50% from 3, and 75% from the free throw line.
Wow. Holy smokes.
Big time, right?
Holy smokes.
Back comes Air Force. That's Ethan Taylor with the layup.
Yeah, Air Force just won't go away. They're making Boise State work on both ends.
So interesting. One thing that makes them a little more dangerous, I would say, on offense this year, a little more unpredictable, is sometimes they do attack a little early in the shot clock. If they find a layup or an open three, they won't waste any time. They'll attempt that and take it. Under 8 minutes to go in the first half. The largest lead for either team, just 3 points. A tight contest here at ExtraMile Arena. Taylor from way behind the arc. Roddy Anderson flies in to get the rebound. Over to Abo.
You notice that Air Force was sagging off Roddy Anderson a little bit, almost daring him to take a jump shot.
Abo into the lane, the ball fake. Can't get the layup to go. Looked like there was a little bit of contact there too. No whistle. Falcons back the other way. Now they'll slow it up a little bit.
Now they'll pull it. 20 on the shot clock. That's, that 20 is like 4 minutes for them.
Down under 10. Taylor's going to take the three. Oh. Another one. And Leon Rice is going to call a timeout after that as Air Force takes a 27-25 lead. Taylor with a big three, answering back to Max Rice's triple. But we knew the Air Force could really shoot the rock. 6 of 9 from distance, Brian. They've been good so far.
Yeah, they're good. And Jay, as you mentioned earlier, one of the best three-point shooting teams in the country, but they keep it simple. They're on balance. They're fundamentally disciplined. That's not really a difficult shot to make if you're squared up, and they do it as good as anybody. You just can't let them get balanced.
Pretty crazy, this roster. You know, they did return 4 starters, but they're one of 4 teams in America without a single senior or grad transfer on their roster. It's the first seniorless Air Force team since 1987. You got to go all the way back 36 years, but in terms of their ability to shoot it, 37.8% from 3 as a team. That's good enough for 28th best in the country. And I remind you, there are over 360 college basketball teams.
Yeah, let's just agree, they're good. You don't want to let them get lined up.
You mess around, you find out. Right now, the Falcons hold a 2-point lead over Boise State. There's a whistle down on the baseline. A foul is going to go against Air Force. Petrides was in the area. He already has 2 fouls.
A really good game plan by Air Force. They're making it difficult for Boise State to kind of figure out how they're going to get their shots.
Anderson forced to toss it out top to Max Rice. Rice now drives it into the key, leans in, shot blocked.
Just what Air Force wants to have happen. Long possessions.
That was Chase Beasley, by the way, that got a hand on that shot as Boise State comes up empty on offense. Rarely have said that about either of these teams so far. 11 on the shot clock.
Pass, 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 3.
Brown for 3. Man, that thing touches every part of the rim before it finally falls off.
Broncos need to pick up pace here a little bit, maybe increase the tempo.
Taylor's going to get called for the foul on Stanley. Not happy with that one.
Get a second look at it right here. A little post interest. Yeah, clearly a foul. Clearly a foul. Nothing to complain about there.
Taylor was hearing it from the fans a little bit and shot a dagger over to the front row.
Yeah, I think these kids at the Air Force Academy, their day on campus and that school is a little bit different than these Boise State kids.
Absolutely.
You know, there is no 10 a.m. start.
I'm not going to lie, I'm talking a little less trash if I'm a fan today, too.
Oh, buddy. Oh, buddy. We should appreciate and be thankful every day for these gentlemen.
Omar Stanley misses the front end of a 1-and-1 as Air Force commits their 7th team foul. Another 3-point attempt. Petrides tries to go for the offensive rebound. It's going to go out of bounds off of, I think, Roddy Anderson, the last to touch it, so the Falcons will keep possession.
Again, unfortunately for Boise State, shot clock resets to 20, and the Falcons will burn another 20.
Falcons led by head coach Joe Scott in his 8th season with the Falcons.
Boy, what a resume he has, Jay. Holy smokes. 31 years as a coach. He has been there, done that, seen it all.
In terms of this offense, Leon said he is the best in the country at running this thing. 8 on the shot clock. Another patient possession by Air Force. It's going to result in an open 3 for Petrides, but he misses. And now Roddy Anderson's going to push quickly into the lane. Tries to leave it for Omar Stanley. Ball poked away, still loose. And finally, Beasley comes away with it, but he's going to get called for a travel.
Ooh, Broncos got bailed out on this one. We get another look. Just scramble, scramble, scramble. Who's got the ball? Now, in the NBA, that would not be even close to a travel. College, that was a travel.
How about this? Kobe Young checking into the game. First time in a few games we have seen the redshirt sophomore.
Boy, a lot of contact in the paint. Stanley's fighting for his life in there.
Rice stuck on the baseline, able to get it out to Degenhart. A pump fake by Rice. A spin move back to Degenhart. Rolls it off the side of the iron, off the backboard, and down through the hoop. Tyson Degenhart, 12 points. A perfect shooting effort for the junior out of Spokane, Washington.
And that was good patience by Boise State. You know, they didn't force one up. They didn't get nervous or uncomfortable. They just waited it out.
Kind of giving Air Force a little taste of their own medicine offensively. Back down under 10 again on the shot clock. Petrides loses the handle. Kobe Young with it. Gonna stop, kick it back out now.
It'd be nice if you're a Boise State fan to get Kobe Young going a little bit.
Cross-court pass, Whiting dribbles baseline, back to Young, a corner three. An offensive rebound, Degenhart going right back up with it. A hard foul as Byron Brown comes right down on Tyson Degenhart. His teammates are going to go peel him off the floor.
God, Degenhart's tough as nails. He's just taking a breather down there.
A physical play, as you can see. Tyson working his way to the free throw line thanks to the offensive rebound. We're back after this. Well, we knew that Boise State would hold a sizable advantage on the glass, and you can see Boise State getting after it on the offensive end. 6 offensive rebounds have led to 5 second chance points. Some additional opportunities for the Broncos they're creating for themselves, Brian.
Yeah, such a focus for Boise State this year. That might come from Larry Eustace a little bit because his teams always crash the offensive boards, but a big focus for the Broncos and a reason that, you know, they may go far this year because of that.
They're 28th in the NCAA in rebound margin, not just on the offensive end, but just overall averaging 6.8 more rebounds per game than their opponents. And you know, that was an area, defensive rebounding, that Boise State struggled a little bit early in the season, and well, they have certainly figured that out. In 11 of their last 13 games, they have limited their opponents to less than 10 offensive rebounds.
Yeah, again, a big focus, and you know, rebounding, it's just effort,
yep.
Right? It's just effort and toughness, and you just got to want to do it.
And you look at some of the teams in this league, and I think that, you know, this league has long been known for its guard play, but there are some good big men in the league this year. I mean, San Diego State always has them. Obviously, Boise State, New Mexico has a couple of fantastic front court players.
Oh, boy, do they.
We just saw a great Osibor, you know, a week ago here at ExtraMile Arena. So to clean it up on the defensive end is a big deal.
A little change of pace after those made free throws. Boise State came with full court pressure, really just to burn that clock a little bit.
Becker misses a three. Petrides and Degenhart battle. Degenhart's going to win that one out of bounds off of Petrides.
29-27. 3 to go here. This would be a good time for Boise State to make a little run.
Once again, Jace Whiting giving Leon Rice some nice minutes off the bench. 10 total minutes on the floor. The Broncos +4 when he's in the lineup.
Boy, that was a good set by Boise State. Good pass. Mismatch. Degenhart. Has he missed a shot, Jay?
A perfect 6 of 6. Tyson Degenhart, a game-high 16 points. An air ball attempt by Becker, out of bounds over to the Broncos.
Jay, that may be the first non-3 or layup they have attempted today.
$19 total attempts, 13 three-point attempts, 4 layups. Yeah, not much in between there, Brian.
No. Boise State just has to stay disciplined, possession by possession. Oh, tough shot by Stanley.
Man. So versatile, can put it on the floor. You can see the touch right there to finish. Short little jumper, and now the Broncos have their biggest lead of the game. It's out to 6. The Boise State bench wanted a charge. Instead, it's going to go as a blocking foul against Max Rice.
Yeah, good call by the officials.
14 foul, first for Max Rice.
How many minutes has Max played?
You know, he played 38 minutes at altitude in Albuquerque not that long ago. He's up to 16 minutes tonight. Barely left the floor here in the first half. And we're going the other way with this one.
Air Force looks a little tired all of a sudden, Jay.
Well, that is one thing. They don't have a ton of depth. They've struggled with that. You know, early this year, Petrides missed the first 7 games with a shoulder injury. You look at a guy like, again, Ethan Taylor averaging almost 39 minutes of contest. They don't have a ton of depth. Another hard foul as Kobe Young pump faked it. Air Force bit on the pump fake. They come down, and he lands hard on the floor, able to get up quickly.
Boy, these Falcons, they foul you. They foul you good. I mean, there's no question. That's a foul.
Kobe Young 3 for 3 at the free throw line on the season. Appearing in his 14th game of the year. Hits a free throw.
Oh boy, Kobe Young. Boy, such a boost for your confidence as a player when you finally get those minutes and you've been waiting patiently and you get your shot. All of a sudden, a couple good things happen. Boy, it can explode from there.
Was a gifted football player in high school as well. Could have gone to the University of Washington and played. Instead, he's here playing hoops for the Broncos. 2 of 2 at the free throw line as the lead grows to 8, the largest of the game for Boise State.
Boy, good job by Stanley on that ball screen. Just didn't let it happen.
Feels like Boise State's found a bit of their rhythm defensively. Boylan back over to Becker. Another three-point attempt. Off the back end of the iron. The Broncos are going to push now. Degenhart pump fakes a 3, then rises up and hits again. Tyson Degenhart is on fire. 7 of 7 from the floor. 19 points. And Bronco Nation comes to life to back their junior superstar.
Boy, enough said. He's feeling it.
And Coach Scott was begging for a timeout there. Finally gets it with 15 on the shot clock. 1:07 left on the game clock. But Tyson Degenhart having an all-time performance here at ExtraMile Arena.
Boy, yeah, he is just feeling that 3 he just hit. It's not like he wasn't guarded. That guy was in his face. That was a tough shot.
We talk about, you know, the person that Tyson Degenhart is and how much he loves being in this community. You know, recently, Tyson helped a Boise State fan that was struggling to afford a place to live, struggling with homelessness. Tyson was on social media, saw a GoFundMe page, saw that other members of Bronco Nation were helping contribute. He noticed the kid's goal was $2,000, Brian, and he was $400 short of that goal. So Tyson, a college kid, I remind you, felt it was his responsibility to go $500. I said, how'd you come up with that figure, Tyson? He said, well, I saw that he was $400 short, and I felt like he needed a little extra. Remarkable kid.
Yeah, we talk about it a lot, but he is that kid. I mean, he's really what you want every student athlete to be, right?
Under a minute to go, the Falcons running out of time on the shot clock. Mills has to go with it. 1 on the shot clock, still guarded, kicks it out. A shot clock violation, the second one of the game that Boise State has forced.
Boy, Kobe Young, great job defensively, did not bite, stayed disciplined, stayed solid, did not take the pump fake.
Tyson Degenhart drives, and not much that Mills can do there, but just go ahead and foul him. Send him to the free throw line. Would have been an easy layup. They'll at least make Tyson try to earn him now at the charity stripe.
Tyson's like, you got to be kidding me. That was an easy one. let me have the easy one. Oh.
Yeah, proves to be a worthy foul, I guess. Tyson at 19 points. Make it 20. The most he has ever scored in the first half of a college basketball game in his 3-year career with the Broncos. About a 14 different differential between the shot clock and the game clock.
With a little more energy defensively for Boise State.
3-point attempt misses. Petrides tries to get the rebound, does. A whistle away from the ball. The official's going over to the score table. I'm not sure exactly what happened there, and they might be looking at the shot clock and the game clock. It did reset to 20 off the miss. But we will have an official review here as both teams are being called over to their benches while they sort this out. They might be checking to see if it actually grazed off the rim. It looked like it did to me. Luckily, we got a replay here. You could see the rim vibrate there just a little bit, so there won't be any risk of a shot clock violation, in my opinion. This should be Air Force ball with 19 seconds on the shot clock and 19.8 on the game clock before halftime.
And Air Force will probably use all of it.
Yeah. Boise State, by the way, I mean, it wasn't that long ago Air Force led this thing, right? Well, in the last 4-17, the Broncos have gone on a 14-0 run. They go from down 2 to up 12.
Yeah, they definitely defensively tightened up, made those three-point shots a little more difficult.
Wow, they're actually saying that did not hit the rim.
Boy, that hit the rim.
I'm not sure about that one, but it will be 8 on the shot clock, and the ball will stay with Air Force. Wow. They got to go. 1 on the shot clock. Taylor just throws it up, an air ball. A third shot clock violation for the Falcons. Boise State's doing a great job late in the shot clock of still making it a really tightly contested shot.
Yeah, which is, Jay, is really difficult to do, right? They're staying very disciplined.
8 seconds left in the first half. Jace Whiting with the ball. He's going to drive in. The scoop shot just misses, but Omar Stanley there tips in the offensive rebound as the Broncos close out the first half on a 16-0 run. They take a 41-27 advantage into the locker room. Tyson Degenhart with 20 first half points. The Broncos are on fire. It is halftime here at ExtraMile Arena. The Broncos use a 16-0 run to go into the locker room up 14 over the Falcons. Boise State really clamping down defensively over the last 5 minutes of the first half. Early on, though, Bo Becker was carrying the Falcons offensively, Brian.
Boy, it really was. 13 first half points, 5 of 9 from the field, 3 of 6 from the three-point line. He was hot early. You don't, if you're a Boise State fan, you don't want to let him get going in the second half.
Right. You know, you look at, as a team, Air Force was 6 of 9 from 3. Well, they've missed their last 7 attempts from distance. But again, it was Bo Becker trying to carry the Falcons early in this game. For Boise State, man, there is no other guy to talk about right now than Tyson Degenhart. 20 points on 7 of 7 shooting. Brian, the thing that stands out to me, he's got 6 layups and 1 three-pointer, along with 5 free throws. I mean, it doesn't get any better than that when it comes to shot selection.
Yeah, and he's just that all-around player, Jay, right? He can hurt you from so many different ways. He's a lot quicker off the dribble than most people give him credit for. You know, had 4 at New Mexico. I know Tyson doesn't really care about the stat line, but as a player, you know that. You know you only had 4.
Right.
He got a whole bunch the first half tonight.
Well, he is already over his scoring average. Came in averaging 15 points per game. Also, his shooting percentage is likely up over 50% on the season now. The most points that Tyson has ever scored, again, in the first half of a college basketball game. And, Brian, I got to tell you right now, Utah State and San Diego State battling down in Viejas Arena. Well, the Aztecs lead the Aggies. If that lead holds, it means that Boise State would be tied atop the Mountain West Conference standings with Utah State. And, oh, by the way, next week, the Broncos head down to Logan. That could be a meaningful one. Before we get to that, though, we got a second half to play. Boise State, phenomenal near the end of the first half. They lead by 14.
Boise State University, Boise State Athletics, Broncos Sports Properties, and, of course,
6 weeks from Selection Sunday tomorrow. This is the point in the season where It feels like we just go from a nice jog to a full-out sprint in February. The games get a little more important. You understand positioning in the conference standings, and you truly understand what you're fighting for. And if you're a Boise State member of the Boise State men's basketball team, you're fighting for potentially a third trip in a row to the NCAA tournament. We look at their NCAA tournament resume, and these things update on the fly, Brian. Right now, they have actually jumped from 44 to 43 in the net rankings overnight. They have 4 wins in Quadrant 1. They've had 9 total games in Quad 1, Brian. This might be the most impressive schedule in terms of difficulty that Leon Rice has ever assembled.
Yeah, I think you're right, Shane. They did that on purpose, right? They knew what they needed to do. They went on the road early. Clemson, Virginia Tech, VCU, Butler. I mean, they played tough teams early. And to your point, every day is important right now. There's no days off.
It's so fun, too. I love the scoreboard watch now. I'm watching Butler and Creighton last night. Butler wins. They bump up into the top 50, giving Boise State yet another Quad 1 game on their resume. Overall, those 9 Quad 1 games tied for 3rd most in the country. Only Wisconsin and Butler have played more Quad 1 games than Boise State. Their 4 Quad 1 wins tied for 8th most in the NCAA. You look at how they've done it too, Brian, and they've always been a pretty good offensive team, but I think over these last 4 or 5 years, we have seen this program really hone in defensively, and it's made a big difference. They're 28th in adjusted defense in Ken Palm's metric, and that makes them competitive night in, night out.
Yeah, and Jay, and let's just go back to Mike Burns, right? I mean, he's going to make you defend if you play for him. But it's the type of team that you have to defend to beat a better team in the NCAA tournament, right? You know you're going to be kind of maybe outmanned, and they're going to have a couple 7-foot guys.
Right.
You have to defend them to have a chance at getting there and getting a win.
I think the thing, too, is every now and then you're going to have an off night. You got to find a way to win a game when you shoot 35% from the field. And Boise State, they love those brick fights. I mean, look at this. They've won 5 out of the last 6 against San Diego State, the national runner-up from a year ago. They're the only team to win in the pit this season, and they're trying to pick up a victory here over Air Force. We are back with the second half from ExtraMile Arena right after this. We are getting set for the second half. Boise State 51.9% from the floor as a team, 38% from 3. They've hit a number of free throws as well, 8 of 10 as a team, and they're out rebounding Air Force as you would expect. Also, the Broncos taking care of the basketball, Brian.
Taking care of the basketball. And I think really the turn of why that big run happened towards the close of the second half. Boise State tightened up defensively, but they stayed disciplined and patient.
Yeah, I think the interesting thing, too, they forced some turnovers there. I was almost actually surprised to see that Air Force is up to 9, which means they've turned the ball over on about a third of their possessions. So Boise State doing what they do, ratcheting it up on the defensive end and building a lead here at halftime. The Broncos undefeated on the season when they hold a halftime lead. We'll see if they can continue the trend next at ExtraMile Arena. I tell you, the Mountain West schedule just never gives up, right? 3 out of the last 4 games for the Broncos have been against ranked teams. Their next 2 games against ranked teams on the road. They travel down to Colorado State, will enter the environment that is awaiting them at Moby Arena coming up this week. And then after that, they have to go to Logan to face Utah State, Brian. This might be, and this is saying a lot, this might be the most difficult week of the season coming up for Boise State.
Yeah, Jay, you're probably right. I mean, at Colorado State, and then, oh my gosh, you get a day or 2 to rest, and you got to go to Logan against a really, really good Aggie team.
It is this final push that they have to make, right? Colorado State followed by Utah State, then you get a bye. And following that bye, I know you can't overlook anyone in this conference, but if you go off the net rankings and thing, this is where Boise State finally gets a little bit of a break. Fresno State, San Jose State, back-to-backs at home before going out and playing at Wyoming and Air Force. Now, those are 2 back-to-back games at altitude. Jeff Linder's figured out some things in Laramie as the Cowboys are playing pretty well. And a trip to Colorado Springs is just nothing you can ever assume if you're Boise State. It seems like they always have to go there. and roll up their sleeves and earn it.
Yeah, Jay, you're right. I mean, there's no days off because you can't, we all know you kind of look at the schedule and there's a couple games you think, oh, yeah, we'll get that one, we'll get that one, we'll get that one. You can't look at it that way because if you give one of those up that you should have won, it's a problem. No days off in this conference.
Boise State has successfully gone on the road and I will say stolen a couple of games. 4-0 in Mountain West play on the road this season, the only undefeated team in the league away from their home confines. Pass down low to Max Rice as Kobe Young gets a start here in the second half.
Kobe Young, Jace Whiting gets a start in the second half. A little bit of a mix up of the lineup.
Omar Stanley looking to use his size advantage. Spins baseline. Almost gets that one to fall. It just slips out at the last second. He'll get 2 free throws.
Falcons foul number 14, Bo Becker is second. First team.
Well, I like the mix-up of the lineup, Jay. I mean, Roddy getting a little extra blow, Abo getting a little extra blow. And like we said, no days off in this conference. They're gonna need a little bit more minutes out of the bench. Boise State will.
A trip Tuesday to Fort Collins awaits. We'll see how Boise State gets through this one as Stanley makes his first free throw attempt. Bounces the second one off the front of the rim and eventually goes down through the hoop. He's coming off a 12-14 rebound effort against New Mexico. Notched his 4th double-double of Mountain West Conference play. He is so active on the defensive end as well as on the glass.
Yeah, I love to watch him play, right? When he's such a good kid with a big heart, he just battles.
A floater. Short one misses. Stanley fighting for it with Petrias out of bounds. It's going to stay with the Falcons as the shot clock resets to 20. Mills looking for some help to inbound this thing. Throws it way out. Up over half court. Petrias retreats and gets it. He was very limited in the first half. Picked up his second foul really early. Only 1 point for Air Force's leading scorer. Mills from straight away fires and connects. The second half beginning as the first half started for Air Force.
Yeah, good shot by Jeff Mills. That was just butter.
Finally quiets a 16-0 run for the Broncos. Their second biggest run of the season. They've only had one scoring run that was better than that, 17-0.
Boy, good take by Kobe Young. I don't know if we'll get another look at that, but this kid is athletic, man. I mean, he just puts it on the deck. Watch this hop right here.
Hangs in the lane, back to the free throw line. Kobe makes his third free throw. Entered this game 3 of 3 at the free throw line. He's 3 of 3 at the night. He averaged just a little under 10 minutes a game for the Broncos last season. His usage down to just 3.6 minutes a game this season. Boise State has added some depth. They've developed some depth, and it's just been a little hard for him to get on the floor, but it certainly seems like he has something to offer this team athletically.
But Jay, he is really, really talented, and it just goes to show how difficult it is at this level to get minutes. I mean, he's a heck of a player, but we got a lot of we got a lot of good players. Air Force looks like they have a little more energy all of a sudden.
Trying to pick it up a little bit. Taylor on the wing. Dribbling in front of Stanley. Over to Petrias. 5 on the shot clock. He loses the handle. Able to get it back in a tough spot. Taylor throws it up and throws it in.
Oh, Taylor. Dagger from the corner. 2 guys in his face. Air Force won't go away. They're hanging around.
He's 6th in the NCAA in 3-point field goals made per game. Averaging well over 3 a contest. You can see why right there. Hand in the face, no problem for the junior out of Texas.
Degenhart wants it inside.
Degenhart's going to take this thing again. A little floater. Too easy for Tyson Degenhart, who's up to 22 in the ball game.
I think Kellen Boyle looking at everybody like, hey, somebody better help me.
What is Air Force's answer with 17 minutes to go? They hung close for majority of the second half, or first half, that is. As Petrides just forced to throw up a three. That's Taylor diving to try to save it to go out of bounds, but ultimately it's an empty possession for Air Force.
Yeah, and Air Force, with their style of play, it's really difficult for them to close the gap when the opponent gets a big lead, right? I mean, they're very patient, very disciplined. They're going to run that shot clock down to 2 or 3 seconds every time. And sometimes there's just not a lot of time left on the clock to get you there.
Kicked ball as Kobe Young was looking to pass it down low to Tyson Degenhart.
Tyson might be thinking he's going for 40. He's in there working hard, right? He's in there working hard.
Max Rice with it, top of the key. Jace Whiting over to Stanley. Stanley's going to hit.
Can't leave him open. He likes getting those looks.
He has proven that over the last 2 weeks. A threat from both inside and now outside the arc. Stanley with 12 points. You look at Boise State's front court, Brian, the starting front court of Omar Stanley and Tyson Degenhart. They have 34 combined points on 12 of 13 shooting. The only miss was a Stanley three in the first half.
Yeah, and I think obviously this was, Joe Scott's concern going into this is we're just overmanned in the paint. Boise State's taking advantage of it.
Becker misses, but yeah, good rebound there by Brown. Tyson, he attacks, blocked by Stanley, tries him again, misses. Stanley with the rebound.
Stanley just doesn't quit. He just battle you.
Petrides, man, he really wanted that one, couldn't get it. As Stanley wins that defensive possession. That was Brown looking for the steal, trying to come around the back of Omar Stanley, but instead he commits the foul. Boise State looking good here against Air Force. They lead by 17. Well, the Broncos looking good and Omar Stanley looking good. 12 points on 4 of 5 shooting. He's off to a hot start here in the second half, Brian.
The best addition to the roster for Boise State this year was this kid. One, he is a gem of a kid. Super nice, respectful, great in the community, and he just battles. What a big motor he has. And New Mexico, nobody kind of talked about it. Double-double,
yep.
Not bad.
He created a number of second chance opportunities, deflecting balls, getting offensive rebounds. You can see the block right there. In Mountain West Conference play, he has really started to elevate his play as well. Actually averages a team high 15.6 points per game in conference play, averaging over 31 minutes a night, shooting 50% from the floor, 50% from three, 9.8 rebounds, so darn near a double-double is expected out of the guy. It's funny, I was talking with Cam Martin earlier this week. He said, yeah, I don't know how Boise State got so lucky there or how St. John's missed on him, but, man, what an addition for the Broncos.
Yeah, he really has been. He's just the ultimate competitor.
4 on the shot clock. He's going to take it himself, try to finish with the left, rolls just off his fingertips, off the rim and out of bounds over to Air Force.
Kobe Young, and they're battling for another rebound.
Safe to say this is definitely the most run we have seen Kobe Young get in a long, long time.
Yeah, and I hope he gets the next 15 and a half minutes. These will be good minutes for him.
Ball over to the wing. They try to center it down low. Max Rice commits the foul. Only the second team foul for Boise State. I believe just the second foul for Max Rice.
Broncos have been, you mentioned it earlier, Jay, they've been very efficient. Right, very efficient. Turned it over 3 times in the first half. That's almost unheard of.
Another whistle is now Bronco Nation's going to weigh in on that one. Take another look at this one as Omar Stanley picks up a foul. Might have got it on the wrong guy there, because I don't know what Omar did.
Y ball foul. Y ball.
Gosh, I never thought that I would say this, but that is, for Petrides, just the second point of the game. Make it 3. Dude's averaging almost 17 a ball game.
Boy, he's a beast. Like I said, other coaches in the league said he is Tarzan, and he plays like Tarzan.
Degenhart from the corner.
Oh,
finally has a blemish on his shooting
he's
stat
human
line
today. He is human.
We have seen the same 5 on the floor since the start of the second half for Boise State. Leon Rice getting set to go to his bench as Omar Stanley comes away with the steal. Max Rice back over to Stanley. Jace Whiting with it on the wing. Max Rice from the corner, he hits. Max Rice continues to carry the hot hand at 35 on 20 shots against the Lobos. He has 9 tonight on 6 attempts against Air Force.
Talk about efficient, and not a lot of attempts at New Mexico. What, 20?
Yes.
35 points, 20 attempts. Not bad.
I'm going to blow you away with another one here, Brian. His 35 points, the most points that any player in the NCAA has scored this season in a road win over a ranked team. Most in the NCAA.
Impressive.
It took a heroic effort, and of course, 12 was more than up to it. An 18-point advantage for the Broncos. Under 14 minutes to go in this one. Max going to launch again and hits again. Give Rice a dozen. He's 4 of 6 from behind the arc. Back-to-back triples for the senior out of Bishop Kelly High School here in Boise, Idaho. Now he's going to play a little defense. Nice finish. That's Mills that goes back to his left, banks it in for a pair. But Boise State starting to put this one on cruise control just a little bit. They lead by 19. Well, Max Rice continuing to make his way up the record books here at Boise State. He entered tonight with 184 career threes. He's now up to 188. That's top 10 all time at Boise State. He's 2 away from Derek Olson at number 9 on that list. DA made 190 threes in his career for the Broncos. Max Rice, only about a month and a half or 2, let's call it 2, left in his college basketball career. He's looking to finish with a bang.
Boy, he's had a bang for Boise State. I mean, think back to the San Diego State game at home last year. I mean, Max Rice finished off the Aztecs here. You know, Max, he's just a gunslinger.
Yep.
Right? He's just a gunslinger, man. And when he gets going, he's hard to guard.
Max calling for it again. Tyson trying to look for him. Instead, goes back to Roddy Anderson. The shot clock winding down. Shabuzo Abo, a wide open look. Makes him pay. Buzo knocks down yet another 3. That's his 3rd of the game as he has 9 points.
How about bringing a guy off the bench like Buzo in the second half? Yeah. Pretty tough. Again, hard for a team like Air Force to come back from a deficit like this. They just, they don't have fast in them, right?
Petrides drives in, 7 on the shot clock, tries to hit a little right-handed hook, leaves it short, and here come the Broncos. Over to Roddy Anderson. A no-look pass to Cam Martin, streaking through the paint, gets fouled.
Boy, Roddy Anderson, so talented, so much ability. He's just going to get better and better and better, and he figures this thing out. I'll tell you what, next year, he's going to be a whole different player, in my opinion. Cam
Martin knocks down the first free throw. I mentioned this a little bit earlier tonight, but Cam dealing with a significant shoulder injury that's really kind of changed the player he is. It goes back to his days when he played at Kansas. Thought that he could rehab it and be fine in 8 months. He transfers to Boise State. The Broncos go on their foreign tour to Canada, comes back from that thing, says the shoulder hurts, goes and gets it checked out, and he's told he needs surgery on it. So his only option is just to kind of figure it out and play through the pain, and that's exactly what he's doing. But it's reduced his minutes. It's reduced his shot attempts. He's finding other ways to impact the game. He's becoming a much better player defensively, and it's really funny because this is a guy that scored 2,000 points at the Division II level. He said his coach used to tell him, hey, man, give up 10 and stay out of foul trouble because we know you're going to score 35, right?
Who doesn't want to hear that as a player?
Exactly. Well, now his role has changed just a little bit, but he's embraced it.
Get in. Well, Cam Martin, he's just tough, right? He is physically in pain. You can tell his shot has changed, his release has changed because it hurts when he shoots it.
It's interesting because, he had some struggles early in the season. He said that he's always outworked everyone, right, Brian? That's how he's gotten to the Division I level and scored 2,000 points at the Division I level. Well, his shot attempts in practice have had to reduce in order to stay healthy. He can no longer attempt 400 or 500 shots a day. It's down to about 50, so he can preserve that shoulder. Yeah. Boise State looking good as Roddy Anderson hits the three going into break. Well, Bronco Nation flex their muscles again. 12,000 strong, packing ExtraMile Arena, back-to-back home games with over 12,000 fans in the stands. And, there are so many great venues around the Mountain West Conference, Brian. Viejas Arena, Moby Arena. Obviously, you go down to Logan where the Spectrum is, the Pit. Boise State definitely building something, and I think that teams and coaches around the league beginning to take notice.
Jay, you're right. There are some great arenas in this conference, but coming from other coaches that have been here recently, they noticed the change. In fact, one of them asked me to let Jeremiah Dickey know that this place has become entertainment, fun, competitive, hostile. I mean, this is a great place for a college basketball game.
I know the players appreciate it. I know Coach Rice appreciates it. The next step for this program is building an impeccable home court advantage, and that's what they've done. Max Rice goes to get it. Wow. He's going to get called for an offensive foul. We give you another look at this. What do you see, Brian?
I think Boylan called this for the official. I don't know. I guess with the new rules, that could probably go anyway, but you typically don't see that call in the backcourt like that.
Taylor misses a three. Martin goes up, gets the rebound. Roddy Anderson to Buzo. He's going to drive. Goes up strong and gets fouled.
Yeah, big lead for the Broncos, and the fans are still really not, they're kind of on the officials right now. They're not letting them get away with anything. Big aggressive move by Abo.
Buzo, to the line, shooting two.
I want to talk about a guy that's grown this season, has really developed as a three-level scorer, has always really been able to shoot it from outside the arc. He only shot 39.2% from two last year. That number is up to 54% this year. A lot of it has been about shot selection. Coach Duryea and Leon Rice have really challenged him in open gym. They played like a 3-1-2 scoring method where a layup was worth 2, a 3 was worth 3, but anything in the mid-range game, even if you made it, was only worth 1. The emphasis on shot selection there has certainly helped Buzo. Cam Martin looking to finish that one, can't quite elevate and get it to go. Had a massive putback dunk against New Mexico. Is working in transition. That's Kellen Boylan with the layup.
Well, Jay, back to Abo. I mean, he's just the complete player, right? He's going to defend you. He can handle the ball. He shoots the three extremely well. His mid-range is unbelievable. He's got more four-point plays than I've seen in a season in my life.
Tyson Degenhart again from three. Give him 25 points. Tyson Degenhart putting on a show at ExtraMile Arena.
Oh boy.
A wild shot way high off the backboard. And here comes Roddy Anderson. tries to go up and dunk it. A superior athlete gets fouled instead.
You'll see athlete when you see him in the open court, Jay, and it's going to shock everybody.
Too strong off the heel. Roddy Anderson last year at UC San Diego shot 73% from the free throw line. This year, barely over 50%. The volume obviously not too high when it comes to his free throw attempts. Continuing to learn and grow as a player. Had a big effort against San Diego State here last month, 14 points in the Broncos' 1-point win over a ranked San Diego State squad. The Aztecs were 24th in the poll when they took on the Broncos. Makes 1 of 2 free throws there, has 4 points tonight in 13 minutes.
Boy, Falcons struggling to get a look right now. That's a good look.
They'll settle for that, but Bo Becker rolls it off the front end of the rim. Back quickly, a pump fake from Rice. Steps back into another one. Can't get it to go. Petrides now into the lane. Guarded by Abo. The spin move. Misses it again. A really tough afternoon for Petrides.
Boy, good job by Degenhart being patient. You kind of see he thought about taking that 3 out of transition.
Over to Anderson in the corner. A wide open look, thinks about it, then decides to pull it, and hits. Hesitated for a moment. They left him wide open, just daring him to shoot it.
You got to shoot that, right? When they dare you like that, you got to shoot it. Hey, Jay, this is how good Boise State's been defensively today. How many successful back cuts have we seen by the Falcons?
Not many.
0.
That's a really good point. Wow.
0. None. And
Yeah.
that was really a big concern for Boise State.
I don't know if there's going to be much time for Mike Burns to soak that one in, but I hope he takes a few minutes tonight and realizes that. Tyson Degenhart, a layup there, a timeout. What a performance we are witnessing from Boise State. They are certainly opening this one up as Roddy Anderson hits a 3 in front of Bronco Nation. Well, you can see Boise State opening up their lead over Air Force. Again, since Air Force led this game at 27-25, they have scored 12 points. Meanwhile, the Broncos have scored 50. That's one heck of a turnaround. Here are your net rankings, and you can look at some of the top teams in the Mountain West Conference standings. New Mexico's number 1, at least in the league in the net at 19 overall. Right behind them, Utah State, San Diego State, followed by Colorado State and Boise State at 43. Not pictured on this graphic is Nevada, who's right back there at 6, but it's worth mentioning that right now San Diego State's starting to open it up a little bit at Viejas Arena against Utah State. They lead by 13 in the second half of that game. The Aggies were hanging around early, but the Aztecs starting to take command. So if that lead holds, again, at least record-wise, Boise State and Utah State would be tied atop the Mountain West Conference following today's action. Back underway, under 8 minutes to go this afternoon. 12,000 strong showing up to support the Broncos here at ExtraMile Arena.
Yeah, Jay, you just mentioned how tight this game was at the 10-minute mark, and Air Force has just ran out of gas, quite honestly. Broncos have more bodies, more energy today, and Air Force just seemed to be out of juice.
Another off-balance shot, another shot clock violation of sorts. And you're right, you kind of wonder when Boise State starts to maybe go a little further even down the bench, start to save some legs for what will be an arduous week ahead. Roddy Anderson back-to-back threes.
Tell you what, Mountain West teams out there, you don't want Roddy Anderson to get going because he can be dangerous for this team.
He is now into double figures. Only played 16 minutes, only attempted 4 shots, but he's made 3 of them from 3. That's 5 scores in double figures for the Broncos, along with Anderson, Tyson Degenhart, Chibuzo Wabo, Max Rice, and Omar Stanley, as Mills hits a 3.
Boy, good 3 by Mills, too. About the 6-minute mark here, I would think Coach Rice maybe starts going to the bench, save some legs, big road trip ahead.
Mills takes over as the leading scorer for the Falcons. He has 14 points, 4 of 5 shooting from 3. Down low, Degenhart up. Another layup for Tyson Degenhart, who is now 1 point shy of 30 for the game. 29 points on 12 shots.
Well, maybe Coach Rice just leaves him in. Everybody but Degenhart. We're going to get 30.
A 3-pointer hits off the front of the rim and goes down for Mills. This is a career high for Tyson Degenhart, by the way, already. So getting to 30 would just be a little bit of a cherry on the top. Abo, an open look from 3, tipped out by Martin, and Boise State's going to get a fresh 20. Anderson drives into the lane, and they're going to call him for a travel.
Boy, that was a baby travel. That was a baby one.
Degenhart's going to go to the bench. Don't know if it's for the final time today. If it is, 29 points, a career high. Max Rice also will join him on the bench. Three-point attempt by Beasley misses. Air Force able to come up with it. They're going to reload. Becker misses this time. Becker got off to a hot start. Has gone cold here in the second half. Over to the corner. Abo for 3.
Boy, that basket looked really big for the Broncos this afternoon.
They continue to pour it on. How about this? 14 of 25 as a team from 3. They're shooting almost 60% from the floor overall.
Yeah, boy, big snowstorm outside in Boise today. It's cold. It's not cold inside here for the Broncos, though.
They have been hot all afternoon.
Number 3, Kobe Young reports back in.
Kobe Young going to check back in. Is Chibuzo Abo probably going to take the rest of the afternoon off. Nice pass. The floater is good. That's Colby Gill getting into the lane for the floater, and he'll go to the free throw line.
That's a good, strong move by Gill, too. He went up there quick. That's a big boy.
One shot for Joe.
Gill completes the three-point play. After this, Air Force is off to play San Diego State back home. Then they host Fresno State before traveling out to San Jose State.
Boy, that's a tough pass from that angle. Roddy had an easy one to the wing, chose to make the tough one.
The Broncos continue to keep the hammer down here in the second half. The lead continues to grow. Well, Chibuzo Abo doing what he does best. 4 threes in the game for him, 14 points. And Boise State is a team with 14 triples on just 25 attempts.
Chibuzo, complete player, right, Jay? We mentioned earlier, he can do it all. He can hurt you with the 3. He's probably the best three-point shooter for Boise State, right? Most consistent, high percentage. He puts it on the floor. He gets to the rim. He defends until every possession is over. This kid's a heck of a basketball player.
Think about how much he's grown since he arrived here at Boise State. It's so funny. You go back in his first game, which was forgettable for many reasons, an upset here, you know, that Boise State would love to forget about. But in that game, he fouled out in like 10, 15 minutes. And Leon Rice was like, easy, easy. It'll get better. And gosh, has it gotten better.
It sure has. And Boise State, that coaching staff, I mean, they pride themselves on developing players. And they do. They develop players. They make them, they turn them into the complete package. And they've done it with Abo.
I think the thing that stands out to me, too, about Boise State's coaching staff, Tim Duryea in his 6th year here, Mike Burns in his 8th year here, David Moats, they continue to elevate into impactful roles in his 7th year here. They have kept this coaching staff intact, and they are very, very talented. They bring back Lexus Williams.
Quality staff. I mean, Lexus is the sky's the limit
absolutely.
For that guy.
He's going to run an NBA franchise one day probably. And then, you know, they complement that with Roberto Bergerson, one of the best to ever play here at Boise State. And a guy that, man, you find me a guy out there that's more of a grinder and a better developer of talent than Roberto Bergerson.
Yeah, he does an amazing job. And, you know, he gets what these kids are going through, and he's such a great resource for them on and off the court.
Boise State going a little bit further down the bench as R.J. Keene checks in for the first time.
Boy.
Nice quick move by Martin as he spins and gets the layup to go.
He is quick and athletic, and you don't really see it when he first walks on the court, but he's a 7-foot athlete.
Sometimes I'm like, how did this guy get to Division II? And I would love to just go watch him play that, because he just had to absolutely light it up at that level.
Just dominate.
Quick timeout. As again, I think we're going to get a few more substitutions into the game for Boise State. I believe that Cade Rice is going to check in along with Mo Silla once we come out of this timeout. You know, the road for Boise State, it's certainly there. They have a chance to control their destiny. Now that Utah State has fallen, Boise State still goes down to Logan. They win there, and all of a sudden the Broncos, they lead this thing. They already have a win over San Diego State here at ExtraMile Arena. I know we have a ton of basketball left, but man, are the Broncos in a good position right now to really make a run at the 1 seed at the Mountain West Conference Tournament. And if they can do that, I don't know how they're not a lock for the NCAA tournament.
Yeah, I think you're right. There's a lot of basketball left, and there is a good path for Boise State. But I think we could say that about most of the teams in the Mountain West, right? I mean, there's 4 or 5 teams that are going. It's going to be a dogfight in the month of February.
We'll see if they can continue their success that they've had in January on the road with back-to-back road games coming up. Over the last 3 years combined, Boise State has won 12 road games in the month of January alone. That's second most in the NCAA, tied with, the second-ranked team in the country, Purdue. Their .923 winning percentage in January over the last 3 years combined, the best in all of college basketball. I asked Coach Rice about it earlier this week. He said, that's the true measure of a program when you're doing it against teams in your league. I asked Cam Martin, hey, how do you guys do this on the road so effectively as well? He says, hey, man, we're a veteran team. You know, like, we do a good job of limiting runs and really staying together, and I think those are really important qualities when you're playing out on the road.
Yeah, it's a really good point, and this is a veteran team, right? You've got Max Rice, who seems like he's been here forever, and, of course, Cam Martin, the 6-year senior, and that matters. And, of course, Stanley as well. I mean, these are veteran, road-tested warriors.
Chibuzo Abo passed his 100th career game recently down at New Mexico, you know. Tyson Degenhart is going to be the type of guy that there's going to be people that look up next year and go, this kid's still in the league. He played so much so early in his career. He's been a headache for opponents ever since he stepped into the starting lineup. 6 games into his true freshman season. Boise State looking to exhaust the rest of this clock under 2:30 to go in the game. Air Force tries to double him. Meadow going to get an open look at a three. A hand in his face at the last second, actually. It didn't matter. Didn't throw him off. The true freshman is now on the scoreboard today.
Say Andrew Meadow, he's going to be a household name in Boise, Idaho. This kid's going to be a heck of a player.
A massive part of the future for the Broncos. It's crazy to think how much they could return next season. Chibuzo Wabo technically a senior, but he does have that extra year of eligibility due to COVID. A talented kid that can pretty much choose what he wants to do in his future. Omar Stanley, only a junior. Roddy Anderson, just a sophomore. Tyson Degenhart, only a junior. I mean, they could return a lot next year.
Boy, go replace Cam Martin with somebody, and this team is intact.
Kills it on the heel and falls through.
I was going to say shooter's touch, but I don't think so. Some good minutes here for the Broncos. R.J. Keene.
Another try from the corner. Meadow misses. Cade Rice, the younger of the Rice brothers, with the rebound. I swear, as a kid, you got to be hunting your first college field goal, right?
Oh.
Instead, a nice spin move. Look at Andrew Meadow making it happen in the lane.
Jay, I was just thinking the same thing. This is no time to be patient. This is no time to, run the set. I get it. You don't want to make a mistake, but let's go. Go get your first college hoop.
Under a minute to go. Boise State leading 92-54. Meadow in again, and Kobe Young comes in and rocks the rim on the putback dunk.
A lot of upside for that kid. A lot of upside.
You want to talk about boosting your confidence. Wow, there you go.
Good move, good power move.
That will just about do it. About a 3-second difference between the shot clock and the game clock.
You got to think Cade Wright's getting a little itchy trigger finger over there.
That's what I was thinking.
I mean, if these touches are just going up.
Oh, the Broncos turn it over here. Air Force, let's see if they just dribble this thing out. I think that's what they're going to do. There it is, Boise State with a decisive victory over Air Force in front of 12,000 members of Bronco Nation. The blue and orange put up 94 points while limiting a potent offense for Air Force to just 56. It's crazy to think, Brian, with about 15 points, or excuse me, with about 15 minutes into this game, Air Force led by 2. They end up losing by almost 50.
Yeah, kind of looked like a dogfight early, right? Like, uh-oh, this thing might be close, and this is not a team that you want to let stay close. Didn't turn out that way.
Yeah. By the way, that 38-point margin of victory, I should say almost 40. Got a little carried away with myself, but the 38-point margin of victory, the largest that Boise State has ever had over Air Force, and it's the largest they've had in a couple of years. You got to go back to when they beat San Jose State by a more decisive margin. But now the Broncos, they string together 2 wins. They come home, they hold serve, and do more than that, I would say. But now they sit at 7-2 in Mountain West Conference play, and they are tied for first place halfway through the season. 9 games down in conference play, 9 games to go. Boise State also sitting on 15, now 16 wins on the season as Leon Rice closes in on yet another 20-win season. He has 10 of them in 13 years, trying to turn it in to number 11. We are going to be joined shortly here by Tyson Degenhart, a career night for Boise State's Best player. Tyson, how we doing, man?
That one felt good. We've had a couple big wins this year, and then we just didn't come out and play with that same edge, and we definitely learned from that and came out with a nice win tonight.
Tyson, this is the first time I've interviewed you following a game where you're not just absolutely dripping in sweat. You got a chance to just kind of enjoy the scenics, I would say, for the last 5 minutes of the game. But for you, 11 of 12 from the floor, 29 points. What was working for you tonight?
My teammates were just finding me. I thought I had good post position and just took advantage of it.
Tyson, great job.
Thank
Super
you.
proud of you.
Appreciate it.
Game. Do you guys talk about the schedule coming up in the locker room? Do you have meetings when you're like, we got this one next, we got this one next, this one's a little more important than that one?
I wouldn't say having meetings about which games are important. I mean, every game is important. This is one we can't let slip, Every doesn't matter quad 1, quad 2, quad 3, quad 4. Every game matters the same. And for us, it's not about looking ahead because we know we have a big week coming up and we need to take care of business tonight.
Tyson, I'll get you out of here on this one. We got Roddy Anderson joining us in just a second. I'm just going to tee it up to talk about him a little bit because it really feels like everybody's starting to come together. When you are 4-0 in the road in Mountain West Conference play, that shows your togetherness and how tough you are. Max has a big game at the pit. Roddy comes on, hits 3 threes tonight. How much does it feel like it's starting to come together for you guys?
We're really starting to click a little bit, and we have such a great team where it could be one of 7 or 8 different guys that could lead us in scoring, and Roddy is one of those guys, and to see him make some shots tonight was big for us, and hope him to keep doing that moving forward.
Tyson, we appreciate it, buddy.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Yep.
Enjoy your weekend, pal.
29 points, again, a career high. He did it on just 12 shot attempts. An incredible evening for Tyson Degenhart as the Broncos pick up a 94-56 victory. And we are joined now by Roddy Anderson, a dozen points in the game. And for the first time in his career here at Boise State, 3 of 4 from behind the arc. How did that feel, man?
That felt good. It felt really good. I've just been putting in the work, trusting God, trusting the work I put in, and it paid off today.
You look at that first one, it might have been your second. You kind of hesitated for a second. Nobody closed out on you, and it was almost like, well, fine, I'm shooting this thing.
Yeah.
What was going through your mind right there?
Well, I thought he was going to contest hard, but he didn't, so I was just like, all right, I'll just shoot it. They keep leaving me open. So why
Yeah,
not?
they can't dare you, right? If they're going to dare you got to fire it up.
A little disrespectful, but it's all good. I had to make it.
Hey, this one's over. Great win. Talk to us about Colorado State.
It's a big one. It's a big game. We coming in just like it's every other game, but we know it means something, and just to get that shutout.
I know you've mentioned this kind of earlier in the season. You know, the program you played for last year, they didn't win at nearly the rate that you win here. I know that this stuff isn't lost on you. You're 7-2 in Mountain West Conference play. You have a couple of ranked wins. I mean, the win at New Mexico was epic. You got back-to-back ranked road teams coming up. How much fun are you having and enjoying your decision to be where you are right now?
I'm having so much fun, coming in, playing a specific way of basketball like my entire life and having to change completely like my entire game, and all I got was criticism about it, but I just trusted God, put in the work, and now I'm just playing basketball, having fun.
It's building. Roddy, we appreciate you joining us, buddy.
I appreciate y'all. Y'all
yeah.
have a good one.
Again, 12 points from Roddy Anderson. He hit 3 threes in the ball game, and part of an effort where Boise State was just absolutely lights out from 3 today. Over 14 made threes in this game. Probably their best shooting effort of the season. I mean, we'll go back and look it up here in just a moment, but an incredible effort by the Broncos, a 94-56 victory. We wrap things up after this. Tell you, when you add it all up, it looks pretty good for the Broncos. They shoot 60% from the floor as a team. They make 15 threes on 27 shot attempts from behind the arc. They go 19 of 22 at the free throw line. I mean, I'm trying to rack my brain here. That's one of the best offensive efforts that I've seen out of the Broncos in a Mountain West game in a long, long time. I mean, they were outstanding, I guess, in New Mexico just a few days ago, but the efficiency, you're not going to lose many games. You do this.
Yeah, they just played excellent.
Yeah.
Okay. And defensively, they played excellent.
Yes.
Again, this could have been a trap game.
Right.
Right? You don't know. Air Force is hard to guard.
Mm-hmm.
And other than the first 5 minutes or so, boy, the Broncos just dug in and really just dominated every possession.
So now that this one's in the rearview mirror, you focus on what's ahead, and this is what it looks like. At Colorado State and at Utah State, they head down head over, I should say, to Fort Collins coming up on Tuesday. Then they have to travel to Logan on Saturday. This is as daunting as it gets when you're looking at 2 teams in the top 32 of the net rankings right on tap. 2 quad 1 opportunities, I should say, back-to-back coming up here.
Yeah, well, day by day, right? There are no days off in this conference, and at Colorado State, and then, win or lose, you got to go to Logan.
Right.
I mean, holy smokes. I mean, I know Utah State got beat today. That was maybe somewhat expected a little bit, maybe just a day off for them, but this is a lot could be the outcome could maybe be determined in this next weekend.
You very well could be. You go down, you contend on the road with these two coming games, because you look at what's ahead after that. Fresno State, San Jose State, at Wyoming, at Air Force. Again, that's kind of the leaner portion of your schedule. Then you come back home for New Mexico and Nevada. Certainly not easy opponents, but you love the fact that you get a benefit from playing in front of what will probably be 12,000 fans for each of those games. So certainly a chance here for Boise State to put themselves in a really, really good position in February. And that's not only for contending for a league title, but for that bigger goal, I would say, of clinching a 3rd consecutive trip to an NCAA tournament. It's crazy that they've gotten to this point, Brian, but here we are. It's a very realistic goal for the Broncos.
Yeah, it is. And what's great about it as a fan, as a basketball fan, is this conference, you're paying attention to everybody, right? What's going on in Logan? What's going on in San Jose State? How the Rebels do today. And it's just been fantastic.
Yeah.
The quality of this league is unlike anything I've seen.
It's been fun to see, and it's usually been guards in the past, but now the league's just loaded with talent all over the floor, I would say. Boise State takes this one relatively easy, cruising to a nice 38-point victory. The Broncos now improved to 7-2, and we can go ahead and call them first place Boise State again, because with Utah State losing at San Diego State today, the Aggies and Broncos are now tied with identical 7-2 marks in league play. February is here. It's going to be a lot of fun as Boise State chases an NCAA tournament bid. For everyone in the truck, for my partner, Brian King, it has been a fun afternoon. Boise State wins 92-56.